Alrighty guys, brand new Yu-Gi-Oh cards coming out. We got some new boss monsters, a very, very big risk move, but maybe with a big reward coming out very soon. Photon Hypernova got a lot of cool cards, and this is going to be one of them. But let's go ahead and start off with the new Spriggans in the video. So starting right off, we have the Gigantic Champion Sargos. Okay, this is not part of the Spriggans, but there is Spriggan support here. So this is the artwork on it, 2800 attack, 1500 defense points, and it's going to be a rank 8 Fire Machine Exceeds Effect monster. It requires 2 level 8 monsters, so it is going to be a generic one, and it says once per turn, you can also exceed summon Gigantic Champion Sargos by using one Spriggan's exceeds monster you control. Transfer its materials to this card. You can only use the first and second effect of this card's name each once per turn. Okay, that's a pretty decent little effect over there. I guess it is actually Spriggan support. So it says, if this card has material, you get to add a Spriggan's or Therion card from your deck tier. That's pretty good. Especially for Regulus. And then second part of the effect is if the exceed materials is detached, you get to target one card on the field, either destroy or return it to the hand. It would have been really good if it said return to the deck. And what's cool with this, it's just one card on the field, so you could bounce back maybe even a continuous thing that you can reactivate, so it has a little bit more potential, and I like how you can target your own cards. Pretty cool exceeds monster at the end of the day. Yeah, I mean, anything could really utilize this. I think there's going to be some decks that can make use out of this effect. Again, just reactivating like continuous stuff, field spells. It's just any card on the field to be able to just bounce it back. So again, really cool stuff. Next up, we have Tally-Ho Spriggans, which is a new quick play spell card that says you can only use either the first or the second effect of this card's name once per turn. When you activate this card, you can also detach up to 3 materials from your exceeds monsters. Okay, so the first part is to add one Spriggan's monster from your deck to your hand. Then, if you detach any materials when you activated this card, you can special summon the same number of Spriggan's monsters from your hand and or graveyard. The second part is, if this card is in your graveyard, you can target one exceeds monster on the field, detach from material from it, and if you do, add this card to your hand. So you have instant ability to detach. The Spriggans, I believe, has the archetype where it's just all about just keep on attaching stuff, so kind of cool. I guess the whole idea was like kind of like a bounce back kind of mechanic, and they are supporting it with all of the new support. So let me know, guys, if you think this is going to make Spriggans really good. Now, this one, I actually did read it because people are freaking out over saying, some people saying it's broken, some people saying it's not that good because there's a big risk involved. So it's a big risk, but potentially a big reward. So this is Gigantic Thunder Cross. So it's a normal trap card that says you can only activate one card with this card's name per turn. It lets you target monsters on the field and or in the graveyards equal to the difference between the number of both players' banished cards. Banish them. Then your opponent can special summon one monster from their deck. So potentially it's the difference between the number of both players' banished cards. So potentially if you go first and you just go banish 10 desires, or there's tons of other like decks with let's say Necrophase, but getting your cards banished is not that big of a deal. You can activate multiple of the pot cards, right? You can either get 6 or 10 really easy in the game. That's a very consistent thing. Being able to banish like 6 cards from the field and or in the graveyard, that's a really nasty effect. Now, there is a downside with this, right? Where your opponent special summons any monster from their deck. It doesn't say ignoring summoning conditions, though. So I was thinking, okay, well, like, what can we use this for? Well, it could be interesting with this, if you can somehow make it so your opponent activates the effect to special summon turn 1, you could potentially do a lot of different things, because technically, I know it's a trap card. Activating trap cards from 1, it's a little bit harder. You'd have to play like Temple of the Kings, Circuit. Anyways, it's possible, right? But on top of that, being able to use other like creature swap mechanics, like there's TGs can have like they have a creature swap in a trap form. You can actually maybe take your opponent's monster with this. Like for example, if you just activate it like really early on, let's say you ran Temple of the Kings or whatever the case may be with Gigantic Thunder Cross, you could potentially just creature swap and then you get one of your opponent's best monsters, and then you could run a floater or something. There just is a lot more potential for this card. I think it's very, very interesting. And on top of that, you could run cards like maybe even Mirror of Oaths, where if your opponent special summons a monster from their main deck, you get to destroy one and draw a card. There's really no downside if you were to maybe make a deck around this card. It just has a lot of potential, and I like these more interesting cards that make me think. So what are some cool combos with Gigantic Thunder Cross? Let me know down below. But we're not done yet. We got this new Valent boss monster, which got announced a couple days ago. I didn't even see it, okay? This is the first time I'm checking it out over here. Now, so this is Valent of the Wireframe Abyss the 12th. Gosh, this name. I mean, it's what level is this? It's a level 12 Earth Fairy Fusion Pendulum Effect monster. I mean, it just screams boss monster. Okay, what's this OP thing gonna do? Because everything's OP this day and age. So, 3,000 attacks, 3,000 defenses. Pendulum. Wait, it's a pendulum scale of 12 too. Dang. Okay, so it's pendulum effect. You can only use the pendulum effect of this card's name once per turn. So the first part is you can activate one of these effects. You special summon this card from your main monster zone in its same column. Okay. Pretty decent to get it out. Their pendulum effect is to move one monster in your main monster zone to an adjacent horizontal monster zone. If this part didn't exist and you could move a monster from the extra monster zone to another zone, you theoretically can maybe get out an additional pen summon, which would have been a pretty decent effect for it at the end of the day. But let's check out the monster effect. So it requires 2 level 5 or higher Valent monsters. So this face down card in the extra deck must be first special summon by tributing the above cards. So it's just 2 level 5 or higher Valent monsters. That shouldn't be too hard in a pen deck, although I haven't really seen Valents like in a long time. It says you can only use each effect of this card's name once per turn. So the first part is a quick effect. You can switch the locations of 2 monsters in your main monster zone or 2 monsters in your opponent's main monster zone. I wish you could just move anything. That would have been so cool. Alright, the second part is if a card or cards in the monster zone moves to another monster zone, you destroy 1 card in the field. Okay, so you have a quick effect, pop 1. It does have some potential for some disruptions, but I really wish you could move like cards that are in the main to like a completely different location with both of the effects. That would have been a much more utility-oriented card, but nonetheless, it's definitely like a boss monster at the end of the day. I mean, level 12 Fusion Pendulum. But is it going to make Valence really good? Let me know it down below. But that's going to wrap up things for the video. Let me know your guys' thoughts on any of these cards that we talked about. If you guys enjoyed the video, drop a like on it. If you're new and you don't want to miss out on more new Yu-Gi-Oh cards, hit subscribe, turn the bell, and you'll definitely see more in the future. Take care, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.